let's have a look at something that we've been encouraging our listeners, our people, our followers to apply to get them going. We often ask them to follow the formula. Do you mind if I just share that with the audience? So this is the one I've been sharing with you before, and we ask people to put the goals right in the center, write your goals, what you want to achieve. And what Liz has done is she's put here to lose weight, to reduce inflammation, and prevent the onset of diabetes. So those are clear goals that she's defined for herself. That's a good start. And then also behind that must be the motivator for achieving them. What's asking you to do that? And obviously she described the motivation there. Family history says that I could also be one of the people that ends up in this position. So I need to really take care of myself. And also then the benefits that she's already seen have already proven that these goals are possible to achieve. Yeah. So that's a great start. So let's talk about where you went first. So you changed your food. Should we say, so talk about the last 3 months. Did you change your food and what you're eating?
Oh, only the last 3 months, not the
longer
history.
No, previous you've done before, but I think in particular here, because you just said you lost 10 kilos.
Yes.
And that's the kind of thing that our followers will be doing. You know, people are following this.
I just jumped on the ketogenic train.
Okay, so can we, I'll try and write while you talk, because I love to listen to you talk. So the fire weight are the things that you now, what have you done in terms of cutting down carbs? What things don't you eat?
I don't have fruit after dinner. I don't have toast. I don't eat cake. It's just all simple, actually simple and compleaf sugars.
Carbs, yeah, okay. So
I
no
have
cakes.
some leafy grains.
Okay.
Veg or
leafy veg.
Leafy veg, yeah.
Good. Yeah.
I try not to have milk. I would have a nut milk instead of milk now.
Okay. Nut milk.
Yeah, almond milk or hazelnut milk.
Okay, fantastic. Whatever. Yeah, good.
I would use nut flour.
Okay.
Instead of
was it like almond flour or something?
Yes.
Okay. What about meat? Do you take meat?
Yes, lots of it.
Lots of meat. Okay.
Yeah.
Lots of meat.
So chicken, fish, beef, all of it.
Okay. And in terms of the amount you eat, did you cut down on that, or have you increased the amount you eat at that sitting, when you're eating? Or is there any difference with that?
I'm trying to think. You know, actually previously, I didn't have a very large dinner. I find my dinner now is much bigger than it used to be. I didn't have a large dinner. I was fasting, so really one large meal a day, which would have been lunch. Yeah. Yet still I wasn't losing weight.
Yes.
But now I seem to be eating more meat.
Right.
Yeah. And I have 2 meals a day, good, generous size.
Okay.
And I am losing weight. So.
Okay, great. So I'm writing this down because as you're speaking, there's a lot of great information coming out of that. So essentially, what you looked at is whatever are visible carbs, you've taken those out of your system, right? Yeah. Which is great. So does your fridge look fairly empty now?
No, it's jam-packed with
all the good stuff.
Stuff for me, stuff for my husband, stuff for my daughter.
Does your husband follow this diet?
No, not at all.
Okay.
We're a small family at the moment. There are only 3 of us at home. My husband is Asian, loves rice, loves noodles, has to have carbs every meal, has to have a snack after dinner, which was preceded by mango usually.
Yes.
So you're looking at all those high sugar things.
Right.
He would die if I tried to cut his rice. I tried to once add brown rice to his white rice, just to send him on that path, and he resisted all the way. My daughter doesn't like oils or cream.
Okay.
She wants low fat and low carb because she knows there are benefits to low carb.
Right.
So she wants a totally different style of food. Right. And then I want high fat, low carb.
Yes.
So we've got 3 meals a meal coming out of the kitchen to accommodate everybody.
Wow. What a way of life.
It's exhausting. I tell you, it's exhausting.
Yes. But I suppose from your perspective, the sacrifice is worth the pain. Do you think you're hoping some of them might change? The 2 of them might change to you, your way?
I can't see it happening unless there's some huge health crisis.
Okay.
I really can't see it happening.
So they need that trigger.
They would definitely need a trigger because my daughter's young.
Yeah.
She's slim.
Yeah.
She's active. She would have no reason. She would see no point to change anything.
To go into that space.
Yeah. Yes. And my husband being a rice eater, he's comfortable with all of that. And I think he could be one of those, is it called toffee? thin on the
outside
and
fat on the inside possible.
I think he's one of those,
Yeah.
and so he can't see any fat. He sees no reason
Yes.
to adjust his diet,
Yes.
and he has no health issues.
Good.
So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Actually, that's an interesting one. That's you brought up a point that we are going to be talking about in another program later.
right?
About some people who are tofu, as I say,
Yeah.
and thin on the outside, fat on the inside, and some of the results they found with those guys in terms of their health condition.
But you have to convince those guys, first of all, they have a problem.
Yes.
Because in our society, it's all about how you look.
Yeah.
So if you don't look overweight,
Yeah.
I don't think people recognize it as any kind of a problem.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you for the point that I. So that's great. So the food space, it looks like you've taken control of that and you've become conscious. So as we go from the first phase, the second phase becomes even more critical, that our discipline stage.
Yes.
See?
Right.
And the discipline of lowering the carbs to a minimum,
Mm-hmm.
and increasing the fats to so the body goes into ketogenic or keto burning, using ketones as a source for metabolism rather than using carbohydrates.
Mm-hmm.
And now the main thing that you focus here as well is reducing inflammation. Now we agree that in our previous discussions before we went on air, that critical thing to do to get rid of inflammation is to go fasting.
Yes.
And so tell me about your eating times. When do you eat?
I stop eating after dinner, which is probably around 7:30.
So yeah, 7 to 8 p.m.
Yeah. And then I start again anywhere from 11:30 till maybe 1:30. Somewhere in there, I have my next meal the next day.
Okay, so let's go the extreme. So let's say 7:30 to 1:30. 7 to 30, that's 12 hours. Help me.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. That's 6 12, 18 hours.
18 hours. So that's brilliant. 18 hours. Right. So are you aware of that the importance of the 18 hours?
Well, it's not always 18 hours. Sometimes it's probably, most frequently, it's probably 15, 16 hours.
So it's not far off though. And the next meal is when?
Occasionally
and the next meal, then obviously the gap between them. Huh?
And then
so then it's 6 hours, 6 to 8 hours of eating window.
Yeah, of grazing. It used to be.
Right.
I would have just kept going through the day from snacks and meals and whatever I wanted. So now it's two meals a day.
No more snacking.
I don't snack. I don't feel hungry. I don't feel like I want a snack.
You know, we invited you as a guest into our world in our office. Normally we would think when we're inviting a guest, we'd get some cakes and we'd get some food and we'd get, I guess that has an excuse to say, I didn't get any of that. What a terrible thing to say to people. You are a guest, we've got nothing for you.
Yes, no, it's fine.
But if you think about it though, socially, the social aspect of eating is driving us.
It's so hard to control. It's very difficult. I had my first lunch with a group of good friends that I haven't seen for 2.5 months.
Right.
Last week, and I had told them I'm on keto diet. One of the host was making pan mi, and I said, I can't eat the pan mi because I can't have the pan part, but I'll bring my own noodles. So I brought along konnyaku noodles, already washed and prepared, and she put them into the soup part. So that was done. There was no issue, and she was quite happy to do that because it was in her home. No. Had we been in a restaurant, that would not have been so easy to do. Alas, someone else bought 10 pieces of cake between 4 of us, and they were all really delicious. I have a terrible sweet tooth, and I cracked. I had, I think, half a piece of cake. Someone else made crepes with fruit and syrup for the top.
Fantastic.
I had a crepe, and then I realized I'm really not going to cope very well once we go back to life as I used to know it, because I can't control all those things. And I just, it's right there in front of you. You want to be.
So how did you feel it? I mean, at the time you're eating, I mean, obviously socializing, you were accepted. This is norm for all of us. We want to be accepted.
Yeah, of course.
And although most people won't admit that, but let's be honest, that's what
it identifies you as part of the group when you're eating what they eat and drink what they drink, and
But then afterwards, you went back to controlling.
Yes, that was the nice part about it. I was so worried, and in the past on other diets, I would have said, "Okay, I'm off the wagon now, so I'll just go home and have whatever I like for dinner. I'll use this whole day any way I want to." But I didn't. I went home and was a good girl. And
Okay. Good.
actually, I was still quite full from all of that.
Yeah.
And then the next day, it was so easy just to wake up and begin again.
Fantastic. So that's a very important point you raised, and I need to get this message across to people. The ketogenic diet is a very forgiving diet.
Mm.
You see, so if you do go you have that break, or you go off the rails, as it were,
Right.
to jump back on.
Well, I'm not sure that's quite true. Sorry to disagree with you, because I think if you're in ketosis, keeping yourself in ketosis is really important.
Yes.
I'm worried that having, stepped off the train for a little while, I would be no longer in ketosis. Now, getting back into ketosis could take you
2 weeks.
2 weeks at least to build back up again. So, so you've kind of lost that time. That's one of the things that keeps me trying not to.
Right. Well, I was on the same space as you in terms of thinking about that.
Right.
However, Dr. Redmayne, I don't remember his full name. Right. He's also done some work in this area, and he says that because you've built yourself to put you in this space. Yes, if you carry on doing that regularly, you will come out of it.
Right.
But to go back to the same space while you're there, the one-off thing isn't going to affect you too much.
I think that's probably true if you've been like Nora and yourself on the ketogenic diet for a long-standing time.
Yeah.
And I think those people have the benefit of being able to move between fat for fuel and carbs for fuel, and they can go like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not really convinced that I at 3
You're at that
months
stage,
can do that.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Maybe that's true, because you're in that vulnerable second stage that we need to think about.
Yeah.
Well, good though. The benefits you're getting from fasting is really is what I've been advocating for everyone, because I tried the diet. It didn't have much impact.
Oh.
And the fasting made all the difference.
Right.
So I maybe lost an inch or something off the circumference of the waist. They're desperate to get rid of the famous gut. And by going on fasting for a year, I managed to get rid of 6 inches.
Wow. And how long do you fast in a day?
I'm more or less same as you,
right.
18 hours. There are many days that I do 24.
Right.
Just eat once a day. In between, lots and lots of water, lots and lots of coffee and tea. And then we also do the bone broth.
Right, yeah.
So,
I've been doing fasting a lot longer than I've been doing low carb.
Okay.
And I couldn't really see those kind of health benefits.
Okay.
I think it works beautifully with the ketogenic diet to push things along.
Interesting. Yeah.
But it's with the introduction of the ketogenic diet that I've started to see,
big change.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So you're seeing it from a different angle.
I think the fasting really helped with being pre-diabetic and bringing down those numbers.
So you did the fasting and then the ketogenic diet.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because I did it the other way.
Right.
And I found the benefits of the fasting were the most valuable. Right? Therefore, it's working differently.
Well, I think because I started with Michael Mosley's 5-2 diet.
Okay.
So that's a little bit different to Jason.
Which is 5 days of
5 days of not fasting and 2 days of fasting. But when you do fast, you have reduced calories. So you're looking at 500 or 600 calories a day in those 2 meals that you're going to eat.
Yeah. Okay, because I started my fasting in the same time as Ramadan in the last year, 2019.
Right. Oh, I can see how that would work.
Yeah, so we said, okay, we're going to start here together. So the whole family decided to do that.
Right.
And then we never stopped. We just carried on. But the fasting is different, you see, because we fast through the night. Right. What we're doing now. But the fasting for Ramadan is through the day.
Through the day, yeah.
So we ended up doing 24-hour fasting.
Wow.
Right from the start. So we just carried on for a long time.
I would like to get to 1 meal a day.
Yes, which is about 24
I think that would be quite fantastic, but I don't think I'm ready for that yet.
Okay. Well, then all you do is delay your things a little bit more. And then you get that.
Easy to do if you're really busy. I noticed on the days that I was extremely busy, it's so easy to fast.
Okay.
It doesn't even come to mind, especially with the ketogenic diet, which doesn't mean for hunger pains anymore.
Yes.
So, that works.
You don't feel hungry. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't have to snack. I used to graze all the time. I don't graze anymore. So I think they work really well together in that respect as well.
Those two, yes.
Yeah.
So what about exercise? Can I ask what are you doing about exercise? Are you doing any more exercise than you were doing before? Or
the MCO kind of changed my world completely. Pre-MCO, I was really active. I had yoga at least twice a week. Yeah. I was trying to hike I'd cut down from 3 times a week to twice a week because of my knees.
Right.
I was trying to walk my dog. I was doing muscle building with weights.
Okay, weights. Yeah. Right.
And I was doing some water aerobics in the pool.
Wow.
Just to
Okay.
burn more calories. Maybe it was a little bit of overkill. I'm not sure.
Fantastic.
And then MCO hit, and you lose all those classes.
Yes.
You lose a personal trainer.
Yeah.
So the only thing I could do was jump in the pool and do a little bit of water aerobics.
Right.
I had no direction to what I was doing. There was no program.
Okay.
So I'd pick up the weights when I wanted to. Of course, I wasn't walking the dog. I wasn't hiking. But I was trying to do some movement stuff every day as I went. Right. Of course, as I lost weight, I found I had more energy.
Okay.
So,
now you can do movement.
Recently, I've just gotten back into a serious look at muscle building again.
Okay.
Because that's the fire that's going to burn those calories. That's going to help me is if I can build up enough muscle, and it's going to help with pre-diabetes as well.
Absolutely.
So it's such an important part.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So you are now really working the formula, because now you realize that the second phase, so the first phase, you will lose some weight, and some of that will be muscle.
Yeah.
You lose. So now you're in that stage where unless you start building up the muscle, then then essentially the number of fat cells we're trying to reduce, the ratio must be more muscle than fat, and that's where you want to be. But also, since you're starting again those wonderful benefits already, then this will help you.
Yes, it's easy to stay on. Once you see the benefits, it's easy to stay on the train. Yeah, you can kind of say, "Oh, wait a minute, no, I don't want to lose those." Okay. I've also, by the way, lost 5 inches from my waist.
Wonderful. So, fantastic. You hear that? 5 inches.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal.
3 months. In 3 months.
Well, in 2 months.
2 months. Even better. So, I want to know what she's doing. It took me so long to lose 6 inches.
Well, once you're really in that zone, it just melts away. You don't really do anything. It just happens.
Because how do you know? The clothes start falling off.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And the funniest thing was when my son, Azran, you met Azran, right? He's been on the diet for some time. Of course, when you're living with someone for so long time, you don't notice these things.
Right, yeah.
And he just walked past us, and as he was walking past, his pants fell off.
Oh, no!
And we suddenly said, oh, it's working.
Oh, thank God he wasn't at home when it happened. My husband didn't notice any kind of weight loss whatsoever. And, he thought it's another diet again, because I've been on so many over the years, until someone said to him, oh, Elizabeth's lost quite a bit of weight. And he went, oh, has she? And kind of looked at me, and he went, oh my God, I think you might have lost. Have you lost some weight? And I went, 10 kg. 10 kg? Oh, really? Oh, wow. So you're right. When you live with someone,
when you're so close, they don't notice it.
Yeah.
We always are good to get out and meet people.
Yeah, it's great. Since MCO, and now today I went to the hairdresser. Yeah. And of course I haven't seen him for about 3 months. And he was going, oh my God, what happened to you? Look at you. Wonderful. Wow. Wonderful. Which was, it's great to hear that from someone who knew you from previously and hasn't seen you in the meantime.
The thing is, it really inspires you.
It does.
The last box I just wanted to focus on for a few minutes, and then the thing I need to know about your rest in terms of what you're doing about that. So what about your sleep? How's that working for you? Is your sleeping, how much do you get?
I have to say, since I started the ketogenic diet, I no longer need an afternoon rest period.
Okay.
I have more energy. Okay. I sleep better through the night.
Okay. How many hours do you get about your hours?
I did start to extend my evenings watching TV, because my husband wasn't going to work so early. Everyone's day was starting later. So it's probably about 11 to 11:30 now that I go to bed.
Okay.
And I wake up at anywhere between 7 and 8.
Okay. Yeah, you get a good 8 to 9 hours.
Yeah, I am. I'm doing quite well.
Okay. This is a strange question I'm going to ask you. No, hang on. It's about me, so I'll tell you. It's better that way.
Okay.
Right. So recently, my wife said to me, you have not snored in the last 2 months.
I'm a snorer, apparently. My husband, don't tell anyone that, though.
Okay. I was worried about asking
the question. Too much information.
I was a bit worried about asking the question.
No, you can ask. Yeah. My husband always complained that there was a symphony. He said, it wasn't so loud, but it was there most nights. And the other day I said to him, but, and he would always complain that him being woken in the night was because of me.
Yeah.
And he seems to be sleeping better.
Yes.
Because
You don't
I'm
snore.
not snoring. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We're not snoring.
We're not
Hallelujah.
snoring. Yeah.
It's a revelation because I could make the ceiling shake. That's
Right. Oh, that's not good. Yeah.
So yeah, she said, "Oh, you're not snoring." Well, really? Oh, okay, I didn't realize. Of course, you don't realize.
Yeah. No.
You know.
Right.
So that was.
But that's an excellent thing because that can have some awful repercussions, can't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and it's superb for. So this last box, which we refer to as our rest, recreation, relaxation, any R's you can think of associated with that. All of those are pointing to increasing the quality of life.
Yes.
And then I think again, these are rewards for the the sacrifice you make in the food,
right.
sacrifice you make in the discipline of not snacking and things like that. And then of course the effort you put into exercise, which also can be painful for people. And this is the reward here.
I think from my afternoon sleep last time that I was doing, I have replaced that now with trying to do some meditation every afternoon.
Wonderful.
So I'm trying very much to have a calmer
Great. And
outlook. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so the last thing we want to talk to you about is you recently, here we are guys, this is me writing, so I apologize for my overwriting, but you can already see that this is an active, vibrant health formula working for someone. And Elizabeth has just talked to you about her progress and the results she's getting. What we need to obviously do is to help her to move to the next stage. And
yes,
one of the key things is that she has had a blood test and the results have come out. And since my wife is having lots and lots of blood tests, so she's become an expert at reading them.
She's so good.
So let me ask you, when you got the results, what were you happy about, and what did you do? So start with what
I was happy because all the inflammation markers were down. I was happy because my blood glucose was down. My HbA1c was slightly down. All of those things were, very positive. However, there was this huge shock. My cholesterol had jumped up from, I'd been fighting to get my cholesterol down from, I think it was 5.8, and then we slowly went down to 5.2.
Okay.
And I thought, that's brilliant. I'm not that far out.
Yeah.
And then this test, it went up to 6.9.
Okay,
and
so you got really worried.
I was really shocked. I can't remember what the others were.
So you got the triglycerides, you got
the
the
triglycerides
HDL.
didn't go up very much.
LDL?
The LDL went up, the HDL went up.
Oh, both
so it
went
kept,
up.
I was really, I think it did. I wish I'd brought it today with me.
Don't worry, I mean, you've discussed it already.
Right.
And now are you feeling much better about it?
I am. I had a word with Nora, who put me on the right path. She, told me some places I could go and find information. So I looked up a few things on Mr. Google, my friend, and yes, it did quell a lot of my fears.
Okay.
But the biggest point was that my ratio between my triglycerides and my HDL was still really, really low.
Which is brilliant.
So there was nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
And all the, I was going to say all the reading I've done, but it's not reading, it's listening to people on the net, really points out that because you've got so much more cholesterol circulating in your body, which is exactly what Nora had said to me. She could be a doctor. She had said that because of that you're going to have a shift and it's going to go up, but it's nothing for you to worry about with it.
Right, so for the sake of the people who are watching now, the very important for you to understand is most of the doctors in the last 30 years or maybe 40 years have been brought up to believe that high levels of cholesterol equates to potential for heart disease.
Right.
Yeah. And because of that thinking, they have not shifted their thinking.
Yes.
And essentially that is what's, by focusing on lowering cholesterol, the question that the doctors that we follow are being asking is, have we decreased the heart rate, heart attacks? Is cardiovascular disease come down in that period? Because there's a huge amount of prescription for statins and other drugs to control that. And the reality is gone totally the other way. Yeah. We're looking at 5 times more. So what it tells us is cholesterol may not be the enemy that we are thinking about.
Yes.
So we really need to put things into perspective. If you've got a high-fat diet, you will increase cholesterol. Yeah. Your body needs the cholesterol. Yeah. But it's obviously
If it's being used,
yes,
it's okay.
It's okay. And now also the other factor, of course, is that the ratio is very important.
Yeah.
And your ratio is good.
Yes,
so
it
you
is.
don't have to worry about
Triglycerides are down.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything to worry about.
Is there any drugs that you were taking that you're no longer on or anything like that?
No, I
What about your
wasn't, because
non-steroidals? Non-steroidal anti-inflammatories for your inflammation?
I was having those, quite regularly. That's true.
Yeah.
For my jaw at one stage,
Yeah.
it was, I would have 2 weeks on them.
Yeah.
1 week off, it would come back again as a problem.
Right.
I haven't touched those at all.
For a long time.
For my knees, after I hiked, I always had a cataphlene because I was in so much pain, but I refused to give up hiking.
Right.
But
now you don't
actually,
need that.
there's a lot of anti-inflammatories.
Yes.
No.
So that's also something we expect with this.
Yeah.
So now you've got real benefits.
Yeah.
So one of the things is for you to stay here and not allow you to go back. So essentially, you've got to carry on doing what you're doing.
I think the secret to that will be the only thing missing, if I can be perfectly honest, is my sweet tooth, which is probably now more of a habit than an actual, I have to have something sweet. It's just, past life experience. When I'm bored, I eat. And if there's trouble, I eat. And, if I'm feeling good, I eat.
Which is very normal for a lot of people.
It is, but it's such a bad habit to get into. And it's always sweet things that I would have gone for before.
Well, now, can you replace that with something like Luhan Go,
monk fruit.
Monk fruit, yeah.
I mean, I have to be honest and say I haven't really found an alternative sugar that is quite as pleasing as table sugar.
Yes.
But of course, that's the only thing I can do is try to find recipes that are going to quell that. Nora again has helped me tremendously with that to give me a sweet after dinner dessert every day, which keeps you better focused.
Yeah, but she's also got some new pancake recipes.
Oh, has she?
No, which using keto.
Oh, good. I'm going to try a crepe tonight. A keto crepe. So she and I can compare notes. I'll call her afterwards and get that. Yeah.
Maybe when you make a lot, I could come back.
I'll send them over.
Send them over. All right, Elizabeth, that's a wonderful meeting up with you and sharing those experiences of yours.
It's a pleasure.
We hope we can help somebody out there to make the start and see the rewards that you're enjoying.
I think once they start, I was under the misconception that it was going to be too difficult, and I thought I was doing low carb previously, but I didn't really count my carbs or work it out.
Okay.
And I was still probably 50 to 100 carbs a day, but I thought I was so good because I said no toast this morning. Yeah. And I didn't see any shift in anything. So I thought if I went all the way keto, it would just be so difficult to get into ketosis, so difficult to maintain that state. Yeah. And the shocker has been, it was so easy. Nora had in fact told me at the beginning, she was one of the kindest things she ever said to me. I was saying, I'm not really good at diets and I'm a bit of a glutton. And she said, no, that's all about hormones. It's nothing to do with you being a glutton. It's about hormones. Okay. And once you get those hormones under control, it's not going to be an issue for you. And I kind of thought, well, that's nice of her, but no, really, I'm a glutton. But she's quite right. Okay. Once you start on all of this together, you have no more hunger hormone. You have... feeling satisfied.
Satisfied, yes.
All of that does work in your favor, and it's just so easy to do. Yeah. That was a surprise to me, that it would be so easy. Yeah. And the other surprise was when you look at 70% oils, I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'd have to have spoonfuls of butter. That must be how you maintain it. Yeah. And then when I realized, no, that's cheese and that's frying in butter, not eating butter off the spoon. That's your salmon skin, that's your avocado, and your chicken, your nuts, your skin on your chicken. Then it sounds much more reasonable, doesn't it, than saying 70% oils. Yeah. You can't understand where you're going to get all that from in a day.
Absolutely. I think we need to start talking about it in terms of real food. Yeah. And it's real food, isn't it? Yeah. That's what we're eating now. Yeah. Real, nutritious, very tasty food.
Yes. I'd like to see that become part of your format, that you add in a recipe a week or something that people can send in and share, and we can all benefit from that.
Okay, well, on that note, Azran has been cooking keto pizza, and we are sharing that this week. So that's coming on. So you'll be able to see that.
Okay, all right.
And he's become quite a guy in the kitchen now.
Has he?
He's really into it now. Yeah. So
okay, well, I'm free anytime when he's cooking. Call me.
Okay. Okay, Elizabeth, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
And
Thanks for having me.
hope to see you again in the future.
You will. Bye.
Great. Okay, guys, thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to you joining us in this quest. We already have over 25 people who joined us on this journey, and they're making some kind of changes. Hope you make a start very soon. All the best.
Great.